I have a problem. Please be seated. Where are my step stools? It's like I'm missing a step here. I can't see you all.
I moved them last week when I preached. They're over here. Here you go, Mother Lou.
Hallelujah, God is risen. Hallelujah.
Mary Jo, that's what I was forgetting.
Thank you.
To put the steps back.
Thank you, Deacon. How
Yes.
wonderful to have a deacon. Wisdom literature. Wisdom is on my mind and on my heart this week because of the readings. And in the first reading, it was that God is from the book of Proverbs, and God comes out as wisdom. Wisdom is the voice of a woman. So she has something to say today. But first of all, wisdom is a literary genre that's from the Middle East, and it's not only from that Green Crescent Valley, but also from beyond that. So this goes back 1900 centuries before Christ. So it's very old literature, and each different civilization has picked up on it. So the Sumerians had a story similar to Job, people arguing with God. And the Sumerians also had wisdom literature that talks about how God is present in our lives. And even in these days, we are very wise, because I bet you can finish this. Early to bed, early to rise. Certainly, so you are all wise. I am so proud of you. Wisdom literature deals with the way the world works. So we learn a lot of things from reading wisdom literature. It was recognized as the fountainhead of all wisdom. So when I read the gospel, my back went up, because I'm thinking, Jesus said to his disciples, now Jesus is speaking at the Last Supper in the voice of wisdom. He's trying to impart some wisdom to his friends. And when the Spirit of truth comes, that's wisdom from the first reading. So my voice is going, she will guide you in all truth. She will not speak on her own, but will speak whatever she hears. She will declare to you the things that are to come. So thank you for being with me and learning a little bit about where wisdom literature comes from. Wisdom literature has some books in the Bible that are considered wisdom literature are Proverbs and Job and Ecclesiastes, and certainly the wisdom that we read today. The Spirit can be conservative, practical, or didactic, even radical in their attitude for conventional beliefs. So it just fits me perfectly. It's, sometimes wisdom can also be pessimistic. So there we go. If wisdom spoke to us today, she might say, each one of you was created before the world began. Each one of you is the first of God's acts. Before the heavens were established, before the skies were filled with stars and rainbows and sunshine, each one of you is God's delight. Each one of you is beloved. Each one of you is wisdom. Imagine yourself, your neighbor, or those you don't like, or don't understand, or even those you hate. Imagine all of these people surrounded and filled with the light of God. Imagine yourself filled with holiness and mercy and light. Imagine all the people you see this week filled with holiness at the gas station, in the grocery store, at the airport, on the road across the earth. Imagine saying to yourself, I carry the presence of God wherever I am. Say to yourself, I am the presence of God that I carry in my heart. Say to yourself, I am adorned with God's glory and honor and wisdom. But humans are not always wise. Humans do not want to see each other as holy or equal or good. Humans want to draw lines in the sand, red lines for housing, blue lines for voting, white lines for burying the dead, white lines that form a cross with the names of those untimely dead. Humans are not wisdom. Humans roll around in the manure of life and wonder where the smell is coming from, according to theologian Bruce Epperly. Humans can be wise if they look into their own heart and soul, and look into one another's heart and soul. To look for goodness instead of difference, to find beauty instead of hatred, to see the loss that touches us all. A wise teacher, Thomas Merton, wrote that human beingness becomes holiness when beingness is lost in the invisibility of God. Human beingness becomes holiness when beingness is lost in the invisibility of God. God is visible. God is visible in you, in me, in life. God is visible in kind actions, in smiling and picking up the trash, especially if it's not your own. God is visible in the helpers, the prayers, the mourners, comforters. God is visible when humans melt into God's love. God is visible when humans live into the wisdom that is in our souls. It takes time, a lifetime, to enter into oneness with God. It takes silence in a very noisy world of entertainment, news, wars. Openness with God needs silence and joy and mercy. Oneness with God needs a conscious desire. Oneness with God brings oneness to life. If wisdom spoke to us today, we would hear, each one of you was created before the world began. Each one of us is the first of God's acts before the heavens were established, before the skies were filled with stars and rainbows and sunshine. Each one of us is God's delight. Each one of us is beloved. Each one of us is wisdom.